Get ready for the show, it's about to begin. Pro fan talk when we dive right in. Sports talk, hot takes, ain't nothing we lack. We the real fans, nothing holding us back. Mic check, 1, 2, y'all know the drill. We bringing the energy, we keep it real. From touchdowns to liquid air on the slam dunks on the court. Every sport, every game, we holding down the fort. We breaking down the plays, dissecting the stats. Pro fan talk, we keeping it fat. Debating with passion, no filter, no doubt. We the voice of the fans, we scream and we shout.
What's going on, good folks? Uh, don't get a chance to go live at lunch often anymore because of my schedule, but I had to do it today. I couldn't even wake up. Couldn't even wake up without news happening, man. Howie moving and shaking again. Um, you know what? That's why he's the best in the business. Let's get a man his props. That's why he is the best in the business right now. Grass is not growing under his feet. You know what I'm saying? Not at all. So yeah, happy to be with you today. We're gonna be quick. We're gonna do it quick. You guys been rocking with me long enough. When I go live at lunch, you know it is a quick hit. I will be going for about 45 minutes. That should be enough time for you to finish your sandwich, wash your hands, and get back to work. Because that's what I'm gonna be doing. So we will go to probably it's 12:10 right now. We'll probably go about to like 12:55, something like that. So I can be done before 1 o'clock. But in any case, woke up this morning and bam, smacked me in the face like it smacked everybody else in the face. Um, Making moves, man. Howie just continues to get it done. He just continues to get it done. And it's like, it's just like, what in the world? What in the world, man? And it's like, golly. I'm glad he's our dude. You know what I'm saying? He's our GM. Because I look at all of these other teams. Me and Tone talked about this the other day on Sunday, and I said all these other teams wish they had our problems, man. They wish they had our problems, and I'm let them talk they smack, man. Whatever gets them through the day. We good. We good. Our GM is better than yours. Our quarterback is better than yours. Our team is better than yours. You know what? And if it don't turn out that way, we'll see how it plays out on the field. Now I still say that there is no team, in my opinion, right now. There is no team, not the Eagles, not the Bills, not the Chiefs. I don't see a team that is the clear cut favorite to just take over the playoffs and get to the Super Bowl. The parity is at an all time high this year because everybody's got issues. Everybody's got warts. We got warts. You saw what happened to Kansas City. Um, Lamar Jackson just getting back on the field. He's looked better, but that defense is still suspect a little bit. Um, it's just everybody's got issues, and everybody's trying to figure it out. Howie is stepping up, making moves. My poor Bengals last night. Joe Flacco, not knowing the offense, puts up 457 yards of offense, brings the Bengals back. 30 seconds left on the clock, and the Bengals defense give up a 50-yard touchdown or whatever it was. Oh, that was heartbreaking. But guess what? That's what happens when you don't have a defense. That's what happens when you don't have a defense. When you got a decent to good offense, but you do not have anybody on defense. That's why Trey Hendrickson was trying to get out of there. And I just saw a thing today. I think it was it Ray Dinger? Somebody had said that they were talking about the trade, obviously. And the point was brought up that Jaelan Phillips was one of the few players that Vic Fangio actually liked from his time in Miami. And I'm like, makes total sense. Makes total sense. Now, the only thing is, and this goes for everybody we sign and everybody that's already on this team, as we are going through right now, we have got to stay healthy. And this kid has a history of injuries. If he can stay on the field, that's a home run for Howie Roseman. But as usual, it's a big if. It's a big if. Q, I appreciate that, man. Yes, I did get everything hooked up and fixed. Um, Took me a minute and I ain't gonna lie, had me stressing. Had me stressing, thinking that I was gonna have to drop, 3 grand on a new computer or something like that. So yeah, it had me stressing for a minute, but I figured it out. It was a software issue. I was having issues with OBS. OBS was causing me to crash, like kicking me out. And I had to like turn on and off the system. Like it was that. But all I had to do was I deleted it and reinstalled the updated version. And the version that was causing the problems was an updated version, but I think they went a step further. So, but thank you. I'm good to go now. Appreciate the concern, bro. Yeah, had me stressing. I ain't gonna lie though. I ain't gonna lie. Um, yeah, we got rich people's problems. Facts. Facts. How we collecting all the Jalen's and Jalen's. I like that. Yeah, that was rough, bro. 88s, man. That had me sweating, bro. My wife was like, "Oof, you might. I know you don't want to, but you might have to do something about that." I was like, "Yeah." So I got on the grind and figured it out. So that's almost every year, Chris. You got to stay healthy. You got to stay healthy. You got to stay healthy, especially at the end of the year. You don't want to be waiting for some. Like we're not going to be in a situation where, we lose Brandon Graham all the way to the Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? We can't that last year was once in a lifetime for a situation like that. And the way our defense was playing, we had everybody contributed. Everybody was playing at a high level. And that is so very difficult to do. You can have good players on defense, but that does not mean that everybody's going to be playing at a high level at the same time. That's what we had last year. Everybody was everybody was hitting. Everybody was clicking on all cylinders at the same time. That is extremely difficult to do because of outside forces. So um, let's see if this kid can stay on the field. I know he's gonna get on the field, but let's see if he can stay on the field because we still got to worry about Jacorian Bennett. We still got to worry about Carter. We still got to worry about Jair because everybody on our list now has had injuries. That's just a fact. So, hey, good afternoon, Tiff. We gotta do what we can do. Do what we can do. Um, the big key that I'm watching this week is Jalen Carter. My focus is on Jalen Carter this week. I need him healthy. We talk about Quinion, we talk about Coop, we talk about Nakobe, we talk about Zach Bond. In my opinion, Jalen Carter is the keystone, pun intended, for the Philadelphia Eagles defense. Because when he is on his game and he elicits double teams because he is that dominant on the line of scrimmage, everything changes down the line on both sides. Everybody else eats. Jordan Davis eats. The edges are going to eat. Linebackers, their job is easier. So, in my opinion, Jalen Carter is the keystone. Once again, he got to be healthy. He got to be 100%. He looked better than that New York game, and let's build on that. I don't know if the whole Spitgate thing did a mind job on him. I don't know. And it's interesting how things like that can spiral out of control. You get kicked out of the game, first game of the season. Everybody's coming down your throat. Then when you come back, you get injured, so it looks like you're not playing up to par, and it just snowballs other stuff. Just snowballs. So, yeah, Howie is the GOAT. Yeah, Chris starts. It don't end with Jalen Carter, but it definitely starts with him. Definitely starts with him because we played. The defense played pretty good when he wasn't, in my opinion, at 100%. The defense still got it done. So it doesn't end with Jalen Carter, but let's just say the starts are a hell of a lot better with him. This move will benefit JC if Phillips keeps playing how he has been. He's got to stay on the field, Ty. He's got to stay on the field. But I don't disagree. I do not disagree. So, uh, yeah, yeah. And I'm still waiting to see what Vic Fangio really is going to do with Jihad because, and I guess this is just something in my head because I see Jihad Campbell as somebody you can move around like a Miles Garrett or like a Micah Parsons. Obviously he's not as strong as a Miles Garrett is. Miles Garrett is one of one, but Micah Parsons, I could see the comp. He doesn't have the experience. He's just a tad bit small. I have to look at that. Is he a tad bit smaller than Micah Parsons? I don't know. But the point being, you can move him up and down the line of scrimmage, and he's fast enough to do what you need him to do. Make him that joker. Make him that wild card that you can put him anywhere and confuse the offensive line. We'll see if they do that. I don't know. What's up, Carlos? Appreciate you, bro. So, yeah, yeah, they can. They can, but let's see if they can turn it up. You know what I'm saying? Let's see if they can turn it up. So, yeah, he was looking good. He was looking good. Let's see if he can stay on the field, man. Yeah, that's a beautiful thing. That's a beautiful thing. I'm gonna have to go look at some film on him just to see what he was doing. Um, and now you got complementary pieces, man. Because I would imagine in Miami, the Miami defensive line and just him, you know, Jaelan Phillips sitting alone with his thoughts, thinking, man, if I had somebody else that could bring the noise like I'm bringing the noise, and because sometimes you think like that. You got your people, but when you in your own head and you thinking like you see other people that are better than what you have, and then you start fantasizing like, man, boy, if I had him on my line, the things I could do. Now he's in that situation. Everybody wishes they had our problems. So yeah, we'll see. That would be glorious if they did that, AJ. That would be phenomenal. But we'll see. Sometimes you can have too many toys. You know how you what they call it uh paralysis by analysis, where you get too much stuff. You give a kid too many toys and he don't know what to play with first. That sort of thing. So but I trust that Vic Fangio will have a plan. Let me see. It's a win-win. If we resign him, he must look good for us in the season. If he walks, we get that third round pick back as a compensatory pick. How we don't play fair. Yes. Yes, yes, and yes. That part. Say it louder. Howie knows what he's doing. The Wizard of Philadelphia strikes again. He knows what he's doing. Howie knows how to make a deal in our best interest. Trust him. I trust him. Yeah, we need to get right. I trust that everybody had a restful bye week, and we're gonna get back to it probably on Wednesday. I wish we would get back to it early because there's such a thing of having too much time off. So yeah, I have to go check it out, Alex. Yeah, I thought the same thing, Tiff. It's nice when you have a bye week and you still move up in the division. Oh my god, I feel bad about Jaden Daniels though. I ain't gonna lie. I feel bad about that. Don't want to see the young fella get hurt. Nobody wants to see that. But I will say this: That is the nature of the thing that we play. That is the nature of the beast. So, let me see. Close up. Let me get back to this real quick. I'm trying to see if I see anything about Jaden Daniels. That sucked. Sucked for him. What was I about to say? Oh, in regards to that, because I was saying that like Jaden Daniels, man, he shouldn't have been in the game. Like a lot of people were bitching about that, and I'm like, that's easy to say. You know what I'm saying? Because no player wants to give up. No player wants to stop. I've seen plenty of games where a team was down by 3, 4 scores, no chance of winning, and starters stay in the game from start to finish. I've seen plenty of those games, quarterbacks included. I've seen Tom Brady finish plenty of games where they got blown out. Insert whatever quarterback you want to. They've been in games where they've been down, they've lost it. Dak Prescott, Jalen. I've seen it everywhere. And it's you only worry about this when you worry about it. It's good until it isn't. So that is the nature of the beast. That is how the sausage is made. And I'm not going to get on Dan Quinn because he left him in there. The kid wanted to play. The kid was still making plays at the end. It was just a little too late. So, and I know they say, well, sometimes you got to save him from himself and all of that type of stuff. And it's one of those things where ain't nobody have a problem with it the last 80 times he did it. So this is just this is the sport that we play. And this comes up a lot because me and Tone talked about this. And when Barrett Brooks was on, and y'all remember what I said? I was like, did you walk away from the game or did the game spit you out? And Barrett was telling the story when his muscle tore away from his quad. Did you walk away or did the game spit you out? What was the tight end for Chicago? Tears his ACL. Is he going to come back the same? I don't know. Can you walk away? Does the game spit you out? Brandon Graham. Kind of somewhere in the middle. Kept getting hurt. The tricep, all of that type of stuff. So it's a slippery slope. It's a thin line. I don't wish injury on anybody. And it's funny, the more they add these rules to try to keep players safe, the more these players get hit with stuff that is beyond anyone's control. That could have what happened to Jaden Daniels should happen to more running backs, if you want to be real about it, because we're the ones running the ball and you trying to balance yourself, trying to get an extra yard. Why didn't he slide? Why did you know what I'm saying? He was trying to make a play. He was playing football. This is the nature of the beast. Can't avoid it. Can't avoid it. So was that the Green Bay tight end? Yeah, that's right. That's right. It was Green Bay. I'm thinking about them helmets. They had the crazy helmet wrap on it. So yes, I believe that was Green Bay. That was Green Bay. My bad. Good catch. I don't know why I said Chicago. Because I guess the helmets, the helmet paint scheme remind me of like a Chicago colors, I guess. But yeah. Um, um, hey man, I don't listen. I feel bad, but I don't feel bad. You know what I mean? You doing what you do. Ain't no other way to put it. You doing what you do. I feel bad for him, like I feel bad for Scatterboo. You know, you don't want to see anybody get injured, but you doing what you do, and you doing what you do best. He just zigged and should have instead of zag. What happens if he runs out of bounds instead of trying to get extra yards? What happens if he just goes down and takes the sacks? There's always a woulda, coulda, shoulda element to everything we do. Everything we do. I count myself as extremely lucky for my time playing professional football from the NFL to the CFL to the World League. I have never torn a knee. I've never broken a bone, popped anything out of socket. I've never done anything like that. And for the most part, I still got all my marbles upstairs with the CTE and all of that type of stuff. So I count myself very lucky. And you ask yourself sometimes, if you were to do it again, what would you do different? I don't know. I don't know. What can you do different? We played the game how we played the game. I played in the 90s, so it was a lot of less caution back then. Yeah. Commanders they in bad shape. They just lost their quarterback. Terry McLaurin is out. So yeah, they're in bad shape, man. Got to stay healthy. Just when they was looking good. Or I should say trying to get it together. But that's the way it works. That's the way it works. I feel bad, and I hope I'm not coming off wrong. I feel bad, but I don't feel bad. You know what I'm saying? I keep saying that, but he you don't want to see anybody get injured, but he was doing what he does best. He was shaking and baking up to that point, still trying to make plays. So, uh, but it is what it is. Um, I said the same thing about Jalen Hurts in 22 when we played. Excuse me, we played Chicago in Chicago, and it was super cold. It was like 17 degrees, and we ran Jalen like 17 times. They ended up getting injured, and I was like, "Why are we running the quarterback 17 times when that run defense was not very good, and we had a good running attack? Why didn't we just hand the ball off to the running back?" I remember complaining about that. That's the way it happens. That's the way it goes. Yeah, Kraft. That's right, Kraft. Tore his ACL. Golden left the game early yesterday. Wow, I didn't realize about Golden. McCaffrey is done. Is he? Oof. Oof. Man, that's crazy, man. Oof. I was surprised to learn how much the position of your thumb factors in if you break or dislocate your arm when not falling or fighting a submission. Listen, when I was still playing ball, we started doing this. I remember doing this in high school, little league, high school, and college. We had a drill where we would be holding the ball and we would have to go down and touch the ground with our hand, like you were going off balance and you had to with push yourself back up with your hand, trying to keep your balance. You know how many people sprain their wrist trying to do that? Why you think back in the day, running backs always wrap their wrists? We used to wrap our wrists because of that. I was lucky. I never had to do that. I would just, it wasn't in my repertoire. I was one of those guys, I was a late blooming running back. I didn't start as a running back until my senior year in high school. I wasn't one of those guys that started when I was a freshman. Nah, I was a late bloomer. And all I knew how to do was run hard. I didn't get moves until I got to college, my senior year in high school, and when I got to college. And then I didn't have like about shake and bake moves. I had moves. I could put a move on you and I could cut back and I could see the field excellently, but I didn't have like Barry Sanders, like DeAndre Swift type Saquon shake and bake. I couldn't do that. I was a slasher. I modeled my game after Gale Sayers. I could run around you, and it looked like I had a scout tell me this one time. He was watching tape on me, and he stopped it, and he said, "Do you realize what you were doing?" I had no idea what he was talking about, and he said, "You're getting 5 yards of stride," and I didn't understand what he was saying. And the way I ran, one stride, I was 5 yards, one stride. When I was at top speed, and it just so happened that he stopped the play. I scored a touchdown, and he looked at my feet. In one stride, I hit the line, and when that same foot came down, I was at the next line. the next 5 yard difference. And he was like, you averaging 5 yards a stride. And when your turnover builds up, that's why nobody can catch you. So everybody's different folks, but I could never put my hand down. I did it a couple times, but I would always be one of these situations. So um, talking about Jaden Daniels, like, listen, man, when your body is falling and you trying to hold yourself up, it would be better. Why do you think back in the day, all of the linebackers had that big ass pad back there? The linebackers really didn't need it. They just wore it because it looked cool, but because most linebackers are going forward, delivering the blow. Rarely did linebackers fall backwards, and that thing used to help keep your hair from snapping back. And I used to always wonder the neck rolls and all that kind of stuff. Why did linebackers wear that stuff? I never understood that. Fullbacks wore them for a minute, but running backs were the one taking the punishment. Uh, I'm looking for 'em, man. I had a NFL Film sent me a CD, but it didn't have a lot of my stuff. I had like two plays when I played against the Jets, and then I've got a mini DV tape with stuff I video recorded myself. That was at least pretty good quality, but that's the one thing that I'm very very jealous about and envious of this era. All these kids playing, all of their stuff is in 4K, 4K clarity, crystal clear. My stuff is on VHS. The degradation is horrible. You can barely see. I've showed you guys stuff before. I got on my original YouTube channel. I got clips from when we played in Tokyo. I had a good game in Tokyo, but I think I got a tape from when my dad taped the broadcast. It just doesn't look good. The technology just wasn't there. So, but I'm gonna find some. I'm gonna find some. But I wish I could get some of my EKU stuff. But I probably have it on CD somewhere. I don't know. Even having it on the CD, I ain't got a CD-ROM player on my computer. It's amazing how the technology just sped up, man. It's crazy. Uh, Somebody on the Seahawks had on had on what? You part of another conversation. I must have missed what you were saying. Uh, it might be some AI tools to improve quality. Listen, man, um, I might start some members only stuff. So if you're not a member, join up. But I think I'm gonna start a members only thing when I like maybe once a week. Like we'll still talk football, but like I don't know, like maybe designing a like some stuff in After Effects or Photoshop, maybe doing a thumbnail just so you can see the process I go through. We do the stuff when we watch film, but I don't know. Maybe I'll do something like that because I got to get better at doing members only stuff because people paying to be members. I got to start putting out more stuff. So, uh, you want to see that EKU film? I have to find it, man. I got some stuff out there. I gotta look through the boxes, bro. But again, same thing. And I know I got it somewhere because I remember when I came out of Eastern Kentucky, I made tapes for myself. I got tapes done for myself going to the pros. So uh, yeah, I'll have to go on a scavenger hunt and find some stuff. There's some stuff out there. Hey, listen, man, I ain't got no problem telling folks I could tote that rock. I could tote that rock, bro. So I averaged 6.5 yards a carry for a career in college. 6.5. And I always say this because I'm an old head. Everybody knew that, this kind of gets into that predictability conversation we had about Kevin Patullo. Everybody knew who was getting the ball when I was in school, when I was at Eastern Kentucky. After my redshirt freshman year, and I was like OVC. I don't think I don't know if it was my freshman year, but I was a All American, and then I think my sophomore or junior year, I was OVC Player of the Year. Uh, but everybody knew who was getting the ball when Eastern Kentucky came to town, and they still couldn't stop me. They could not. So if I can find the EKU stuff, I will. I will definitely do that, bro. Definitely do that. Yeah, I think Makuba's gonna be fine. I've heard a lot of people talk about Andrew Makuba. I think Makuba will be fine. Um, he's a rook, and he's playing well as a rook, and he's taking his lumps. That's the way it's gonna happen. But when you look at everything in the macro, specifically about Andrew Makuba, he's had way more good than bad. So that's gonna happen. You got veterans that make the same type of mistakes as Makuba. So as far as I'm concerned, all things being equal, Andrew Makuba's playing fine, and he's only going to get better. He's only going to get better. So we're good from that standpoint. Try to see Adam Schefter. Anybody else got any other news popping out? Schefter, Ian Rappaport, test confirmed that the Packers tight end Tucker Kraft did in fact tear his ACL. Yeah, man, that's bad news. Bad news. What else we got? Oof. Chargers linebackers. Dayon Henley's brother was killed. Wow. After acquiring Jaelan Phillips, the Eagles are still projected to have 8 draft picks in 2026. A 1, 2, a first round pick, second round pick, 2/3, 2/4, 2/5. That includes potentially receiving 3 total compensatory picks for Milt Williams, Josh Sweat, and Mekhi Becton. Howie's doing his work, bro. Howie's doing his work. Um, Salty, 100%. 100%. I don't think Adoree, I just fell out of favor with Adoree when that situation happened with Scatterboo. He wasn't great. He was better than Keely Ringo. Just when you're on the goal line and you making business decisions and that pops up on film, not a good look. Not a good look. Um, we do need safety depth, but I think our depth is fine. It's just we only need depth after everybody gets hurt. Shoot. Sidney Brown always hurt. Makuba and Brown should be a good 1-2 combination at safety. We shouldn't have any problems, but they got to stay on the field. That's the only, I guess, in my opinion, the only bad part of letting CJ Gardner Johnson go. CJ Gardner Johnson was a baller, and rarely did he come off the field. He was just so volatile, and you know they had to make their decision. Yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong, Sigma. Miami's paying for Phillips' contract. Good, good. Um, yeah, I don't. I don't necessarily subscribe to that. I want somebody that's playing because you can get a veteran safety, and they might not play as good as the young fella. The young fella might not know as much, but a veteran safety can get beat just as easy as a rookie. So yeah, Sidney Brown. I like Sidney Brown because he's a and don't forget we still got Marcus Epps back there. That's a veteran safety that knows the landscape in Philadelphia. So I just think you need to be prepared for the safety spot. This is the last chance to get somewhat good safety. I mean, you're not wrong. You're not wrong, but we got what we got. Yeah, I saw that. He had a sack. Yeah. But, you know, a season is not made on one play, so we'll see what else happens. So, yeah, but CJ did have a game yesterday. CJ did have a game. Epps is not bad, and Epps is a veteran. So, um, yeah, the thing that got me about Epps though, I never forget that game in 22 or 23. Was it 22? I just remember he came up and he popped Christian McCaffrey. I mean, he put a boom down, but he ducked his head. He came up and just made a hellacious hit and never bothered wrapping up. And Christian McCaffrey bounced off of it and went the other 15, 20 yards for a touchdown. And I was like, man, that's just that was the very opposite of what Cooper DeJean does, making tackles. So I'll take the guy that makes the tackles, right? So possibly we'll see. Howie ain't done now. Howie still got Howie still got uh a little over 24 hours. I believe the trade deadline ends at 4 p.m. tomorrow. So he still got over 24 hours. That's a lot of time for Howie to make a move. That's a lot of time for Howie to make something happen. Um, no, we don't have Avante Maddox anymore, I don't think. Um, but we'll see. We'll see, man. Listen, it's all about Carter is not too small. To me, it's not about size. In my opinion, when you're talking about safety or strong safety or free safety, what you're talking about is somebody who knows where to be on the field. Reed Blankenship is not the fastest guy on the field, but Reed Blankenship, because Reed Blankenship done got burned a couple times, but for the most part, Reed Blankenship is where he is supposed to be on any given play. Things happen, but that's the most important part when you're talking about a safety. Is he where he's supposed to be? Because a lot of times he might have to cover up for a DB. You filling in the gap. So a safety needs to know where he's supposed to be, understanding the scheme, understanding what they see and what's coming. And I think for the most part, Reed Blankenship picks up the defenses and understands his limitations and knows where he's supposed to be. Could we get somebody that's faster than Reed Blankenship? Absolutely. But that doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to make plays. So I'm good with that. I'm good with that. I think our safeties are okay, but just just like anything else, it'll be good until it isn't, and hopefully, we're not going to have to deal with that. It's that simple. It's that simple. Carter is a tackler. Listen, man, Vic Fangio liked Carter down in Miami. Enough said for me. Enough said for me. So, Salty Stew, real talk. What do you think about Tank Bigsby and should he be over Will Shipley? Great question. I love Tank Bigsby, and yes, Tank Bigsby is a better running back than Will Shipley, in my opinion. In my running back opinion. I like Tank Bigsby when he first got here. And I thought immediately when we signed him, I was like, yo, Tank Bigsby is a much better running back than he is returner. They tried to get a 2-for-1 deal and it just didn't work out. But you saw what he can do at running back. Should not be a question anymore. I don't know what happened with AJ Dillon. Did he get hurt or whatever? Um, I think Shipley is pretty good, and I think eventually he's going to be a relatively important piece for either us or somebody else. But for right now, Saquon Barkley is number one, and Tank Bigsby is number two, in my opinion. So I'm with you on that one. Me, I'm excited. Yo, they lost to the Panthers, yo. They lost to the Panthers. That's twice. Think about this. Twice. That is twice that the Packers sabotaged themselves. The first one was when they were what, 3-0 or whatever it was, and that guy said they could see themselves playing like they planned. I could see us going undefeated. Mistake. Never say that, and especially never say it out loud. And then Micah Parsons made the mistake of talking about Philly during an interview about the Carolina game. Why you looking ahead? That's another no. You don't do that. Every game is a season. I say that all the time. And what that means is you need to have all your focus on the game in front of you. All your focus. That's why they call these trap games and stuff like that. You need to have, as an NFL professional, you shouldn't be worried 2 weeks ahead or 3 weeks ahead. You need to worry about what's in front of you because anybody can get got. And now they know. Now they know. And that's his fault. You're supposed to be a captain. You're supposed to be a veteran. You know better than that. But see, and I said this a long time ago. I said this when I told this story before, when he was his second year with the Cowboys. I remember saying this vividly. This was back when I was on another channel. And what I said was, if Micah Parsons, because at the time of his rookie year, Micah Parsons didn't say too much. He was very quiet. All his talking was on the field. And I remember saying specifically, if that dude continues to do what he's doing and he does not drink the Kool-Aid that is the Dallas Cowboys, he's going to become the leader of that defense, and Dallas is going to be a problem. And then he drank the Kool-Aid. And the moment he drank the Kool-Aid was when he went on Von Miller's podcast and said something about Jalen Hurts a week before we were supposed to play. It's been downhill since. Since that moment, it's been downhill for Micah Parsons and the Cowboys. If Micah Parsons would have just kept it quiet and all he had to do was play ball. But you know what? Jerry Jones, that environment down there, it is very difficult to not say stuff. It's very difficult to not start running your mouth and that's exactly what happened. When he was that quiet dude, just reserved and focused, and all he did was just wreck shop on that line of scrimmage. When he was that dude, he was dangerous. Not that he's not dangerous now, but at that particular time, a Dallas Cowboys defense that was focused and not involved in the nonsense, not involved in the circus, that was dangerous, and they can't keep it up. Somebody got to get in front of the mic. Somebody got to have a podcast. Now he on a podcast talking about the Eagles and putting down Dallas's picks. And I was like, oh, school's out. School's out. Too late. You had your opportunity and you couldn't keep it. So, yeah, fame got to him. It's that circus, man. It's that circus. It's like going back to high school. When you went to high school and the when you go to high school, that's when your personality is formed. Because the big thing in high school is what type of nonsense can you resist? Because there is a bad element in high schools, and when you get to that age 14, 15, 16, there's an element that didn't exist anymore. Drugs didn't, you weren't really looking at drugs like that before you got to high school. Now you see people smoking. Now you see people in high school pregnant. That means there's a sexual element to it. So how do you resist all of that when you're constantly in that environment? Some people can, not many. And when you're down in that circus that is the Dallas Cowboys, it's hard to deal with it. Very hard to deal with it. Thank you, Tiff. Who's talking about the tush push again? That wasn't even our fault. The freaking Buffalo Bills ran it. And they talking about they can't officiated right. Don't even get me started on that, Tiff. I get so mad about that. How about you officiate holding right? How about you officiate roughing the passer correctly? How about you spot the ball correctly? You got all this technology, damn it, use it. How about you figure out what a catch is? Because you still screwing that up. But you want to worry about the tush push because it's us. Get out of here. Oh my God. Even last night with the Bills and the Chiefs, I remember saying to Tone, uh, what's going to be the over and under on how many calls that Patrick Mahomes gets? It, it seems like the officials judge the game differently when Patrick Mahomes is playing. So, so we'll see. We'll see. But all right, I am at the end of my time. Yo, we rocked for 46 minutes, man. We rocked for 46 minutes. I might have to start doing this more, man, because I like doing it like quick hitters. Get back to the day, and plus the numbers are pretty good, man. So I like doing this. But um, yeah, we back in it this week. Uh, I don't know if my guess is they come back to NovaCare on Wednesday. I would hope they would come back earlier than that, but I know how it is sometimes. Um, I just don't like too long of a break. So, but good show, man. Appreciate everybody joining me for lunch. I'm definitely going to do this again. Definitely going to do this again. Um, but you guys enjoy the rest of your Monday. We supposed to get some cold weather here in South Jersey and in Philadelphia area. My wife told me that coming up, not this week, but next week, we got snow coming. Good Lord. I don't even want to say that, but thank you, Tiff. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Cowboys lost tonight would be great. Absolutely. Um, thank you, Tiff. Am I going to be on tonight? Yeah, I probably will go late tonight. I don't know if I'm going to stream Monday Night Football, but I might do. I think I tend to like doing like the after show better. You know what I mean? So, snow game versus Detroit. I didn't even think about that. We'll see. We'll see. But heck, you saw Detroit get got yesterday. Boy, you just never know. You just never know. But all right, I got to get back to work. Appreciate all y'all. Much love on my team. Um, I'll probably be around tonight, probably around 10:30. So stay tuned. You know me, I'll post it on my Twitter and Instagram and all that type of stuff. So yeah, we need to talk trash about them Cowgirls. Yeah, since you put it like that, you're right, Tiff. You're right. You're right. But I'm gonna get up out of here, man. Y'all enjoy the rest of y'all Monday. And as usual, go Birds. Howie Roseman is the Wizard of Philadelphia.